Welcome to a new video. Today, I'll tell you some new information about the controversial and unpopular former King of Spain. King Juan Carlos has given his first television interview since his abdication, appearing on the French channel France 3 weeks after the publication in France of his memoir, Reconciliation, co-authored with his biographer Laurence Debray. On the program Secrets to Store, he reflected on his childhood, the milestones of his 39-year reign, his life in Abu Dhabi, and his relationship with his son, Felipe VI. These were the main revelations he shared with his interviewer, Stephen Byrne, a journalist specializing in royalty. This interview airs just 4 days after the family gathering at El Pardo Palace on Saturday, following King Felipe VI's posthumous award of the Order of the Golden Fleece to his mother, Queen Sofia. It was also the 50th anniversary of the restoration of the monarchy, and King Juan Carlos was among the guests. It had been 2 years since his granddaughter, Princess Leonor, came of age, since he had last participated in a family gathering of this kind. Since moving to the United Arab Emirates in 2020, the distance between him and his family has been evident. Even so, he maintains, "I think it's just the way people are. And by that I mean that the relationship can be one way or another, but it's very good." However, he regrets not being able to be with them more often and advise his son. "I would like to see him more and see him more often with his daughters, Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia," he said, adding that he is a good king and that we must support him. If he has ever said, as can be read in the book, that he feels abandoned, he now clarifies, but in a more philosophical way. It's not really like that. There was a time when King Juan Carlos apologized. We all remember it. It was in 2012 after leaving the USP San Jose Hospital in Madrid, where he had undergone hip surgery following a fall during an elephant hunting trip to Botswana, in southern Africa. "I am very sorry. I made a mistake and it will not happen again," he said about this episode, which sparked enormous controversy and marked the beginning of the end. In his memoirs, he speaks of another mistake, his relationship with Karina Larson. He insists, "All men make mistakes. Everyone makes them." He doesn't deny his mistakes, but claims that everything is sorted out. "It's all over. I'm at peace." Aware that as king he's constantly under scrutiny, he says many false things have been said about him and asserts that he has no regrets. Despite expressing no regrets, he does admit that during his 39-year reign he sometimes failed to pay enough attention to his family. He apologizes to them and makes a plea to the Spanish people that the Spanish people understand what I have done. King Juan Carlos speaks with pride about some of the milestones of his reign. The Constitution, a symbol of reconciliation among Spaniards and, therefore, the inspiration for the title of his memoirs, is, for him, his greatest achievement. It is the only constitution in Europe that bears a name. It is called the Constitution of King Juan Carlos, and it is truly moving. Regarding those years when he decided to move towards democracy and leave behind the Franco regime in which he was raised, he recalls that it was necessary to move forward and be brave. He did, however, have a concern, that of betraying him once Francisco Franco named him heir. "I hesitated, truly, I thought to myself, well, now I'm going to betray him," but the phrase "from law to law," passing through the law, gave him the confidence and legitimacy he sought. He ended up having an excellent relationship with his father and buried him with royal honors at El Escorial. "He was fantastic advice and later a friend," he has said. Before all of this, nothing was easy for the young prince who arrived in Spain as a mere child and found himself caught in the middle of a power struggle between his father and Francisco Franco. "Sometimes I felt like a ping-pong ball." Things changed when, at 16, he entered the military academies. There, he began to envision his future. "I was very, very sure I wanted to stay in Spain, to train and finish my studies." Once ready, he began to anticipate the change. "I really had to prepare for the future and remain calm, waiting for the right moment," he recalled. Through good times and bad, one passion remains constant in his life: sailing. Like his father, he's a seaman, and he easily understands why there's no safety service. "You're really focused on running the sailboat. You're free." He can't give a precise answer to the question of whether he'll return to Spain. It will depend on the situation and the moment, he says, but he's certain that his visits to Cinco to participate in the regattas will continue. I think about Spain all the time. It's very deeply rooted in me. Its smells, its landscapes, its bullfighting, flamenco, the food, everything. But since I go there every month to participate in the regattas, I eat well and have a good time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be grateful for every like, comment, and especially subscription. We are almost approaching the 1,000 subscriber mark.